Have you ever looked at a perfect family photo and felt a chill because you know what happened next? In August 2018, a pregnant mom named Shannon Watts and her two little girls, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, vanished from their Colorado home. Their dad, Chris Watts, went on television pleading for their safe return. But within days, the truth came out, and it shocked the world. This is the story of the Watts family murders, a case that still haunts millions. If you're new here, hit subscribe and the bell. We cover the cases everyone can't stop talking about. Let's get into it. On the outside, Chris and Shannon Watts looked like they had it all. They lived in a beautiful 5-bedroom home in Frederick, Colorado. Shannon was vibrant, outgoing, and constantly sharing their life on social media, pregnancy announcements, cute videos of Bella and Celeste dancing, family vacations. She worked for a direct sales company called Thrive, posting motivational quotes and patches that promised better health. Chris was the quiet, supportive husband, worked a steady job at Anadarko Petroleum, mowed the lawn, seemed like the perfect dad. Friends described them as a normal, happy couple. They'd overcome money struggles earlier in their marriage, and now Shannon was 15 weeks pregnant with a baby boy they planned to name Nico. Everything looked perfect. But behind the filtered photos, cracks were forming. In June 2018, Chris started an intense affair with a coworker named Nicole Kessinger. Nicole later told investigators that Chris told her he was separated and in the middle of a divorce. He said his wife was cold, that the marriage was over. Texts between them were passionate. Chris talked about wanting a future together, even searching online for wedding dresses and romantic getaways. Meanwhile, Shannon had no idea. She was away on a work trip in Arizona when things reached a breaking point. Shannon flew home late on August 12, landing around 11:30 p.m. Her friend and colleague, Nicole Atkinson, dropped her off at the house just before 2 a.m. on the 13th. That was the last time anyone saw Shannon alive. Chris later admitted that when Shannon got into bed, he told her he wanted to separate. What happened next destroyed everything. By Monday morning, Shannon missed a doctor's appointment, totally unlike her. Nicole Atkinson grew worried when Shannon wouldn't answer texts or calls. She went to the house around noon and rang the bell. No answer. Chris wasn't home, he was at work. Nicole called the police for a welfare check. When officers arrived, Chris came home early. He seemed calm, almost detached. Bodycam footage shows him letting police inside. Everything looked normal. Shannon's car was in the garage, her purse, phone, and medication still upstairs. The only thing missing? The bed sheets from the master bedroom. The next day, August 14th, Chris gave that now infamous porch interview to local news. He stood in front of his house and said, quote, "I just want them back. I just want them to come home. If somebody has them, just bring them back." He spoke about hoping his family was safe, all while knowing exactly where they were. Millions have watched that clip and said the same thing, something felt off. He barely showed emotion. Credit has to go to Nicole Atkinson. She told the police right away, "This isn't like Shannon. Something's wrong." She even pointed them toward Chris as someone to look at. That same day, police brought Chris in for questioning. He failed a polygraph spectacularly. The examiner called it one of the worst failures he'd ever seen. After failing the polygraph, Chris broke. He first claimed that Shannon had harmed the girls after he asked for a separation, and that he snapped and killed her in rage. The police didn't buy it. They told him they knew he was lying. Finally, Chris confessed the full truth. He admitted to taking Shannon's life that night. Then loading all three into his truck and driving to his remote worksite. He buried Shannon in a shallow grave, and placed Bella and Celeste in separate oil tanks. Investigators found them exactly where he said. Chris later said he just wanted to be free, free from the marriage, free from responsibilities. He wanted the new life he imagined with Nicole Kessinger. Nicole, for her part, cooperated fully with police. She said when the news broke, she was devastated. She had no idea Chris was capable of this. She's lived under protection ever since. On November 6, 2018, Chris pleaded guilty to 9 charges, 5 counts of first-degree murder, including Shannon's unborn son, counted under Colorado law, unlawful termination of a pregnancy, and tampering with bodies. In exchange, prosecutors took the death penalty off the table, at the request of Shannon's family, who didn't want years of appeals. On November 19, he was sentenced to 5 life sentences plus 84 years, no chance of parole. For safety, Chris was moved out of Colorado to Dodge Correctional Institution, a maximum security prison in Wisconsin. He's been there ever since. Reports say he spends his days reading the Bible, working a prison job, and corresponding with pen pals, some of whom send admiring letters. In recent years, leaked letters show Chris still shifting blame, sometimes calling Shannon controlling, other times blaming the affair, and claiming he's found God and been forgiven. But many who study the case see little real remorse. In 2020, Netflix released American Murder: The Family Next Door. It used only real footage, Shannon's own Facebook videos, text messages, police body cam. No narration. It became one of Netflix's most watched documentaries ever. For a lot of people, that's when the case really hit home, seeing Shannon's smiling videos, knowing what was coming. This wasn't a stranger abduction. It wasn't a long history of obvious abuse. Chris Watts was the guy next door, quiet, polite, no criminal record. That's what makes it so terrifying. It forces us to ask, how well do we really know the people closest to us? Social media showed one story. Reality was completely different. Shannon's family, the Rzuseks, have spoken out about their pain. They've asked for privacy but also fought to keep her memory alive in a positive way, through foundations and awareness about domestic violence. They've said the girls were full of life. Bella loved makeup and princesses, Celeste was sassy and fearless. Shannon was a devoted mom who lit up every room. They deserved so much more. If you're finding this case as chilling as I am, drop a comment below. What part shocks you the most? Let me know. I read every single one. And if this is your first video here, welcome. Subscribe for more deep dives like this. Experts who've studied the case often point to family annihilation, when someone destroys their entire family to escape perceived burdens. Chris showed classic signs of covert narcissism, the perfect public image, secret double life, lack of empathy under pressure. He premeditated parts of what happened that night, even researching when to say I love you with Nicole weeks earlier. It wasn't a sudden rage, it was a cold calculation for a fresh start. As of late 2025, Chris remains at Dodge Correctional in Wisconsin. There have been no major legal changes. Leaked prison letters from the past couple years show he still claims religious redemption and sometimes blames others for how things turned out. But he will never leave prison. Nicole Kessinger lives under a new identity. Shannon's family continues to grieve privately. 7 years later, the Watts case is still one of the most searched true crime stories online. It's a heartbreaking reminder that evil doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it smiles for the camera. Rest in peace, Shannon, Bella, Celeste, and baby Nico. Thank you for watching. If you found this respectful breakdown helpful, give it a thumbs up, it really helps the channel. What case should I cover next? Let me know down below. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.